Now, we're going to move into how this program applies to your everyday work, life experience. Ideas and theories are fascinating and important, but in the long run, what we really need to know is how to do it. How to be able to apply the theory to our current situation so that it has some relevance. As you go through the program, the content that you're going to be learning, whether it's about mindful awareness or focused attention or about goodwill, is something that you could apply to a real life situation that's meaningful to you. We're going to begin to develop one by creating what I call a change case study. We'll refer back to the change case study throughout the course.
Daniel Goleman, psychologist, science writer, and international best-selling author of Emotional Intelligence, offers some real-life examples of meaningful change case studies.
I was talking to the CEO of a nationwide real estate company. They do commercial real estate. And he said, once I started using this mindfulness tool, the self-observation tool, I realized something about myself, and that is I blow up at people who bring bad news, who don't meet my expectations, and it ruins the relationship. It's terrible. And he said, and what I was able to understand through that self-monitoring was that it was my own fear of failure. Mm-hmm. I was in a state where I got scared, and that made me lash out at people. So I've stopped doing that. So this is a guy who's in a very powerful position. There's that leadership ripple effect, and the CEO is doing this to the direct reports. It ripples out through the organization. And it was having very bad impact on the company, and he was able to manage it better because he was using the kind of tools you're offering. The second example has to do with tuning into the people you're impacting, the people you're leading. And this is empathy, of course. And I was speaking to a woman just this weekend who was at a workshop that I was giving with my wife. And she said, I work directly for the head of marketing for a major pharma, and I'm about to leave. I'll be the 9th. Mm. He doesn't understand why, but he has the habit of focusing only on quarterly sales. He doesn't care how you get it. He's abusive. He focuses only on what you didn't do. He doesn't praise people. There was an HBR article about this, which was done by some colleagues of mine at the Hay Group. It was called Leadership Run Amok. And it's someone who is a pace setter, who themselves is a real go-getter, a perfectionist. They're very self-critical, but they see other people through that lens of criticism. That's a distortion in empathy. We'll talk about what good empathy looks like, but that's bad empathy, and it has a disastrous effect on an organization because talent flees that kind of a leader. And then the third example, I've just seen it twice now. I know some people who used to be very high at research in motion. Those were the BlackBerry people. And they had a real flaw in their systems awareness. They didn't see the new technology. They thought that what had made them so successful going in, which was their phones had superb engineering, their network was completely secure, and so on. They thought that that would capture the market. They didn't realize the companies had started letting people bring their own phones, my iPhone and so on, and hook up with a company network. They didn't see it coming. They saw it way too late to change, and RIM has now lost that huge market share they had. And I also was talking recently to someone at a tech company, one of the biggest tech companies, and he said, we're having problems with that systems awareness too. We're too focused on just doing the things that work for us all along, and we're not innovating, we're not exploring, we're not looking for what's the next big product, the next big breakthrough. We have to buy our way out of those misses. It's very expensive, and what they do is, so far what they've done is, something new will come along, cloud computing, Well, some companies miss cloud computing, so they had to buy a company that was there when that broke, and it's not a good way. What you want to do is be the innovator, and now they're trying to switch from being a company that just exploits what works to also exploring, to looking around, to catching the new trend as it's about to hit.
A change case study is an example from your own life to which you'll apply these tools and skills of the course with the intention to improve the situation. To begin to develop one, bring to mind a situation from your current work life that you'd like to work on using the skills and tools of this course. Here are some characteristics of a good change case study. 1 is that it's important to you. 2, that it's not too difficult or complex. In other words, if you were going to put the change that you're trying to initiate or implement on a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being the most difficult, don't choose a 10, right? Don't pick a 10 or an 11. Pick something that's about a 5. Choose a project or some collaboration that requires more effort than yours alone. A good change case study is stakeholder dependent. It's not something that you can just do on your own. Instead, it requires collaboration and cooperation. That way, you'll be able to apply the material around generating and cultivating goodwill to your own life.